They say a week is a long time in politics, but for President Bola Tinubu, it's just another 7 days of high-level diplomacy, strategic partnerships, and bold action. Let's take a look at his week activities. The week kicked off with President Tinubu touching down in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, where he was warmly received by Tanzania's Foreign Minister, Ambassador Mahmoud Thabit Kombo, and Nigeria's Charge of Affairs, Ambassador Salisu Suleiman. The visit marked the start of Nigeria's participation in a high-stake energy dialogue. Later that day, Mr. President was welcomed by Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, President of the Africa Development Bank (AFDB), as he arrived for the Africa Energy Summit, a joint initiative of the AFDB, the World Bank, and Tanzania government. The summit aimed to tackle one of Africa's most pressing challenges, electricity access. On the sidelines of the summit, President Tinubu held a bilateral meeting with Dr. Akinwumi Adesina on Monday to discuss Nigeria's energy transformation agenda. It was a busy day in Dar es Salaam on Tuesday as President Tinubu arrived at the venue of the Mission 300 Africa Energy Summit, where he was received by Tanzania President Samia Suluhu Hassan. By the end of the summit, leaders adopted Dar es Salaam Declaration, a bold initiative to provide electricity access to 300 million Africans by 2030. Mr. President reaffirmed Nigeria's dedication to the cause, citing the country's progress in expanding mini-grid and standalone solar system. He also acknowledged the $1.1 billion investment from the Africa Development Bank and called for collective action among African nations. Later, he engaged with Professor Yomi Osibanjo and other prominent Nigerian and global leaders to further solidify partnerships in the energy sector. Wrapping up his 3 days working visit, President Tinubu departed Tanzania for Nigeria. On arrival in Abuja, he was received by key officials, including Chief of Staff Femi Gbajabiamila, National Security Advisor Malam Nuhu Ribado, and Minister of State for Defense Bello Matawalle. Back in Abuja on Thursday, President Tinubu turned his attention to diplomatic engagement, hosting the formal presentation of letters of credence from newly appointed foreign ambassador. In his address, Mr. President commended Nigerians in diaspora for the outstanding achievements, noting that their contributions enhancing the nation's global reputation. Canadian's High Commissioner Pasquale Salvaggio highlighted the positive impact of Nigerians in fields like education, science, and businesses, while also expressing Canada's interest in expanding cooperation in oil and gas, ICT, and agric. Mr. President also welcomed Sierra Leone's High Commissioner Dr. Julius F. Sandy, emphasizing Nigeria's long-standing investment in West Africa development. Discussing with Ethiopian new envoy Lagis Jeremy Ohela, focused on strengthening bilateral relations and enhancing peace and stability in Africa. Additionally, President Tinubu acknowledged the Catholic Church contribution to education and poverty reduction effort in Nigeria while receiving Apostolic Nuncio of the Vatican. Diplomacy remained in focus as President Tinubu met with Senegalese Minister of Integration and Foreign Affairs Ms. Yessine Fall on Friday, who delivered a message from Senegalese President Bassirou Diomaye Faye. On the diplomatic front, Mr. President approved the appointment of Abba Abubakar Aliyu as the new managing director of the Rural Electrification Agency (REA) for a 4-year term. Aliyu, a seasoned expert in energy and infrastructure, is expected to drive Nigeria's rural electrification goals forward. To close the week, Mr. President observed Jumat prayers with members of the Tijaniya Muslim Brotherhood led by Khalifa Mahir Sheikh Ibrahim Inyas at the State House Mosque. That's a wrap. See you next week.